Welcome to the San Antonio Pets Alive Dog Handling Overview. Thank you so much for your interest in volunteering with us. We rely on dedicated volunteers to keep our animals healthy and happy. Dog walking is one of our greatest areas of need. Getting out of the kennels throughout the day helps relieve some of the stress of being in the shelter. It gives energetic dogs a chance to burn off some of that energy so they are calmer in the kennel. It exposes timid dogs to people and different surroundings, which can ultimately reduce their anxiety. It also helps dogs become accustomed to walking on a leash. The end result is the time they spend with you can help them become adopted more quickly. In this overview, we will review animal body language, basic dog walking guidelines, the proper way to approach an animal, taking a dog out of the kennels, tips while on a walk, and what to do if a dog gets loose. Safety for you and the animals is our priority, so we will emphasize our safety protocols. Our objective is that all volunteers stay safe and enjoy their time with the animals, and that our animals have an opportunity for enrichment outside of their kennels. We ask all volunteers to review this information, even if they don't plan on handling dogs. Unexpected situations can occur, so it's helpful for all volunteers to have the same knowledge base. Let's imagine for a moment how the animals in our shelter might feel. They may have been in a home and somehow gotten out of the house or yard and found themselves on the streets. They may have been born on the streets and all they know is a life struggling to survive. They may have led a pampered life but were turned into a shelter when their owners passed away or could no longer care for them. No matter their background, they all share the uncertainty of what comes next. They are confined in a fairly small, often noisy space. They have no idea why they are there or how long they will be there. Because of this, it's important to realize that shelter animals may respond differently than your animals at home do. Many of you have had pets all your lives and have lots of experience with dogs. Some of you may be walking dogs for the first time. It is important that you be realistic about your experience and comfort level in handling animals. Also realize that shelter animals may not behave the way your pets do. Many of them have never been on a leash before. They may pull, jump, or just stop and lie down. They have had a rough life and are in a scary environment. Their behavior can be unpredictable. Even volunteers with lots of experience with their own pets may find some shelter animals challenging to handle. Never feel that you have to take out a particular dog if you are uncomfortable with some aspect of his behavior. If you have little or no dog handling experience, check with staff to see which dogs would be the best fit for you to walk. Being in the kennels is stressful, and each dog reacts differently. Some animals adjust fairly well to the kennel environment. Others are fearful and may shut down. Some exhibit frustration at being confined in a small space. Given all this, it's important to recognize canine body language that indicates an animal is stressed and to follow guidelines on how to approach them. Dogs communicate through facial expressions, ear and tail positions, and overall body posture. Breaking body language down one body part at a time can be helpful in building your observation and interpretation skills. However, it is important to consider the whole body and the context in order to understand the dog's intentions. In general, you want to see signs that an animal is relaxed. Signs of tension in any body part can indicate stress or anxiety, and the animal should be approached cautiously. Let's begin with the animal's eyes. The eyes of a calm and relaxed animal will also be relaxed, maybe slightly squinted. A stressed or fearful animal's eyes are generally round and open wide. You may even see the whites of the eyes. The pupils may be dilated and the eyes may have a glassy look. A calm, relaxed dog often has his mouth slightly open and the tongue may be hanging out, like the dog in the center photo. A closed mouth, like the dog on the left, may indicate anxiety or uncertainty. A dog that is baring teeth or growling, like the dog on the right, is very stressed and should not be approached. Other signs of stress include lip licking, yawning, panting or drooling, and a puckered muzzle with teeth exposed. It can be a little trickier to determine an animal's emotional state by the ears simply because of the variety: floppy, upright, cropped. In general, ears that are pulled back indicate anxiety. Ears that are flattened back against the head indicate an animal is fearful and may act to defend itself. Use caution when approaching. Ears that are pulled forward indicate interest or arousal. That may mean the dog has seen or heard something he is interested in. By itself, that is not a cause for concern, but you need to look out for what is causing the interest and be ready to distract the dog if necessary. An animal's tail can give some indication of his mood. A wagging tail does not necessarily indicate a dog is friendly and wants to engage. A relaxed dog usually wags in a wide sideways or circular motion, and the tail will usually be level with the back or slightly below. If the tail is held low and slowly flicking side to side, that may indicate anxiety. A tail held upright indicates interest. If it is combined with ears that are pulled forward, pay attention and be prepared to distract the dog if necessary. A tail that is held low generally indicates submissiveness. A tail tucked tightly between the legs indicates fear, and it is best not to approach the animal at that time. It is very important to assess the body language of any dog before you take him out of his kennel. Even if you have walked a dog previously with no issues, be aware of the signs he is exhibiting. A dog may be worked up because of an interaction with another dog right before you got there and needs to calm down for a bit. We don't want you to be in a position that would jeopardize the safety of you or the animal. Here are some behaviors that indicate an animal is stressed. If a dog exhibits these behaviors, it is best to leave them in the kennel. If they begin to exhibit these behaviors while you are out on a walk, return the dog to the kennel and give them some space. Excessive lip licking or yawning, raising of the lips to show teeth, growling, raised hair along the spine, tail tucked in between the legs, cowering in the back of the kennel, and whale eyes when the whites of the eyes are showing. The dogs at our PetSmart, Petco, and Marbach Clinic are all in Sapa's care and are not subject to euthanasia for lack of space. Things are a bit different at our 151 location. The dogs in our building on the ACS campus are still under the city's care. We are actively marketing them and working to find placement, however they are subject to euthanasia by the city at any time. Because of this, it is especially important at that location to avoid a situation that could potentially lead to a bite or injury. Any incident in which a dog gets loose and goes after another dog or nips out of fear could mean release and euthanasia. If you have any doubts about an animal's state of mind, do not take the animal out. Some animals seem a little reactive in the kennels, but they are fine once they are outside. Please check with staff if you are unsure. They can take those animals out of the kennel and return them to the kennel for you. We use two types of leashes at San Antonio Pets Alive, a clip leash and a slip leash. A leash with the clip at the end is designed to be attached to a dog's collar or harness. A slip lead has a loop at the end that can be adjusted to slip over the dog's head. Because shelter dogs may become spooked on a walk and try to bolt or slip out of their collar, we use a double lead system at all of our locations. It is important that while you are with the dog, you keep your attention on the dog and your surroundings at all times. Be aware of other people and animals nearby. We ask that you avoid using your cell phone when you are with an animal. You are there to spend time with the animals, so please give them your full attention. We ask all volunteers to follow the 10-foot rule. Keep your dog at least 10 feet from other dogs while out on a walk. Please do not allow a dog to approach another dog to bark or sniff. Just as we wouldn't run up to a stranger and ask for a hug, we shouldn't bound up to an unfamiliar dog to say hello. We don't want to add to the animal's stress or create a situation in which the animal feels he needs to defend himself. Here are the steps to properly introduce yourself to a dog. First, evaluate an animal's body language before approaching. Assess the dog's current mood and behavior. If they are giving off signs that they are anxious, fearful, or feeling sick, do not approach. If the dog's body language is open, approach the dog slowly and calmly. Approaching quickly or loudly may startle the animal. Don't make direct eye contact. This can seem threatening to a dog. Turn your head slightly away from them and look away from their eyes. Turn your body to the side and bend with your knees to get lower. Dogs don't appreciate you looming over them and can see it as threatening. Turning your body to the side and crouching to their level can make you seem less imposing. Offer your scent. Extend the back of your hand for the dog to sniff. If they don't seem interested in sniffing, then do not force them to interact with you. Remember, do not put your fingers through the kennel door. Prior to taking out a dog, make sure you have everything you need. This will include a slip lead, a clip lead, and a harness if necessary. Make sure to bring several poop bags with you. It's also a good idea to have some treats handy. Check with staff to see where the poop bags and treats are kept. Also, look at the kennel card before entering the kennel. This has the animal's name as well as other basic information such as gender and age. Remember the animal's name so you can return him to the proper kennel. It sounds obvious, but it's easy to forget. Occasionally you may see a kennel without a kennel card. That usually means the animal just arrived. In that case, make a note of the kennel number. We have 4 locations, each set up differently, so the process of taking a dog out of the kennel varies slightly at each location. We'll show you 2 ways to take out the dogs. Always check with staff at your location to see what method they prefer. At the locations other than PetSmart, you will typically leash up through the open door. Carefully open the door inward a small amount. Be prepared to block the door if the animal tries to get out. Loop the slip lead over the animal's head and tighten it. In the video, the dog does not have a collar, so the volunteer is using a single slip lead. If the dog has a collar, also attach a clip lead to the collar. If the animal is timid or shy, as in the video, you may need to go inside the kennel to leash up the dog. Before leaving the kennel, look to see if there are any people or dogs in the walkway. Wait until the walkway is clear before coming out with your dog. Close the kennel door behind you so it doesn't block the walkway. Some dogs can react when they see other dogs. We want to avoid any kind of altercation, so move quickly and keep a short leash while walking past the other kennels. Do not stop even if the dog wants to stop in front of another kennel. This is especially important in the Marbach Clinic because the walkway is very narrow. At the Petco location, you will walk the dogs out through the front door of the store. Many customers bring in their dogs, and the dog trainer often has the class walking dogs around the store. In addition, you will have to walk past the grooming and vet clinic areas to get out of the store. With so many dogs around, it is imperative that you are aware of any dogs nearby and keep your dog on a short leash whenever you are in the store. Do not allow your dog to approach another dog, and if a customer allows their dog to come towards you, stop or back away. This video shows the proper way to take a dog from the Petco Adoption Center. Before leaving the adoption center, look both ways for other dogs. Do not walk out of the adoption center until there are no dogs nearby. Keep your animal on a tight leash until you are outside of the store. Maintain the 10-foot distance between your dog and any other animals in the store. Animals can be unpredictable, and we never know which dogs will get along. Any kind of altercation between animals is a serious issue which we want to avoid. Once you are outside of the building, you can extend the leash and give the dog a little more freedom. Make sure to keep a tight grip on the leash, and please abide by the 10-foot rule at all times when you are with the dog. We ask that you keep the dogs out for at least 20 minutes. This gives the dogs a chance to be outside and have a break from the kennel environment. Some dogs may not be interested in walking. Don't feel obligated to walk the entire 20 minutes, especially in the heat of summer. You can sit in the shade on one of the benches outside and spend quiet time with the animal. Many of them love to sit and cuddle. Please bring poop bags to pick up after your dog. It is unsanitary to leave feces for other animals and humans to step in, and it's also discourteous. The 151 location and Petco have trash cans outside to dispose of the used bags. When walking dogs at PetSmart and Marbach, please carry the used bag with you and dispose of it when you return to the building. Our 151 location has fenced play yards that you can use with the dogs. The dogs are allowed to go off-leash in those areas. It's a great way for an energetic dog to get the exercise he needs. Please note that there are some dogs who can jump the fence. Check the kennel card before you take the dog out. If it says no play yard, the dog cannot go unleashed at any time. Petco and PetSmart have indoor playrooms that you can use to play with the dog off-leash. They are also useful when it is raining or very hot outside. The 151 location has a specific protocol for walking sick dogs. They need to go out a certain doorway and walk in a particular area. The first time you volunteer at that location, check with staff and they can show you which door to use and where the dogs can be walked. Sick dogs are indicated by a colored slash on the kennel card. Our smaller dogs are housed in stainless steel kennels stacked 2 to 3 high. The dogs on the lower level can be leashed up through the slightly open kennel door. It can be a little more challenging to take out the dogs on the upper levels of the kennels. Not all dogs like to be picked up. If a dog shrinks back when you open the kennel or exhibits any signs of stress, ask staff to help you remove the dog. Our top priority is to avoid dogs getting loose. It puts them at risk of injury and death. That's why we have implemented the 2-leash protocol. Even with those safeguards, an animal occasionally gets loose, so it's important that you know what to do. The first thing to remember is to stay calm and do not chase the dog. That may make them run away and put them in jeopardy. Text the manager of the location you are at and let them know the situation. If the animal is distracted and wandering around, calmly follow. If you get close enough, step on the drag lead, toss a few treats, and pick up the leash. If you aren't able to get close to the animal, keep your eyes on the dog and follow at a distance until help arrives. When returning dogs to the kennels, you will follow the same procedures you did in taking out the dog in reverse order. Make sure the walkway outside the kennels is clear before bringing your dog in. Open the kennel and lead the dog into the kennel, then take off the leashes. If you're having trouble leaving the kennel because the dog wants to come back out, toss a few treats towards the back of the kennel and slip out quickly. Some dogs do not want to go back to the kennels. If you have a dog that won't move, please do not drag the dog by the leash to get them into the kennels. Ask a staff person to help get the dog back. Here are some last reminders about handling dogs with Sapa. Never handle any dog you're uncomfortable with. Always feel free to ask for help. Remember that our dogs are unique and may have certain likes and dislikes. Treats will go a long way. Only volunteers ages 16 and up may handle dogs. Our volunteers who regularly walk dogs will tell you that it is very rewarding. You may occasionally face challenges, but the rewards of lots of love and affection are worth it. Taking our dogs out and about helps them get the socialization and exercise that they need to be happy, healthy, and ultimately ready to be adopted. Our volunteer manager will be in touch within a few days to tell you your next steps. Thanks again and have fun!